We're live. Didn't run the intro because, technically speaking, this is not Coffee and Crypto. Today's stream is brought to you by Coca-Cola Cherry Coke. I'm just kidding. That'd be a heck of a sponsor. All right. Well, as people are joining up here, because normally I'm not live this early, so I'm going to give it a few minutes. Funny story. I was actually sitting down to shoot a afternoon video. I was going to shoot a technical analysis afternoon video. And instead of hitting the record button, I hit the stream button. So you guys were watching the outtakes of me shooting videos. So you got a little bit of a behind the scenes. It's really funny because my little stream deck here has gotten me into trouble so much lately from hitting wrong buttons on it and showing screens I didn't mean to. Luckily, I'm honest. So whenever you see something, I'm like, yeah, you already knew about that. But you were watching me shoot a Climate of Crypto episode from behind the scenes. But as soon as I hit live, like 135 of you joined. So I said, you know what? It probably would be better to just go ahead and go live and talk about this right now. So here we are. Welcome to this live stream. This is not Coffee and Crypto. Coffee and Crypto is at 10 a.m. Don't want to mess with the branding on that, but we are live right now. And I am really excited to be here because a lot of people are very excited about it. We are going to be discussing 3 questions. Number 1, where and why is Bitcoin breaking out to the upside? Number 2, how far will Bitcoin go, and is this the beginning of the bull market? And number 3, how do we profit in this movement? Really excited to be here once again, and I do appreciate all of you for tuning in. So, Student is in chat, Moon Alert is in chat, Philly Skills 1428 in chat, I Blint said right now. Evil 1981's in chat, Pedro Valente is in chat, Haas Cartwright, CBD Study, Gravy Train, Justin Eubanks, Meek Vision, Mattis S, Joe Bollier, Travis Nayeste is in chat. Cesaric NSW is in chat. Valeria Valenzuela is in chat. Beer, Bourbon, Barbecue, and Bitcoin. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, my friend. I the Beholder is in chat. Pete Schwartz is in chat. Rave Song Records. Good to see you. Is in chat. Crypto Santa said hi in chat. No, for real though. I accidentally hit the wrong button the other day after the stream had ended, and I'm just gonna start with an apology because that's unprofessional, and I need to be better about that. But I accidentally showed my screen on CT2A, and I think I took the stream down just because there was some sensitive stuff there. 19 signups, so there you go. Let my technical difficulties show you that I'm being honest, I suppose. Either way, we're here. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. I had promised this morning to make an afternoon video about the breakout that's going on, and I was in the process of making that video, and I decided, since I'd already accidentally started a live stream anyway, that we would just go ahead and do a live stream because I think it will be nice to be able to interact with the chat during this time, and something could happen while we're live, which could outdate a video very quickly, and it would allow me to commentate on it. So, let's read chat here for just a little bit, and then we will continue. Joseph Tokar is in chat, said, first time here live, good to see you. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, will you be editing that out, hopefully reposting the first part of the show? That was from that was about a week ago or so. I'm not even sure which stream that was, so no, I probably won't. Thanks, Jeb. We all missed it. You're 12 hours late again. Why? I'm depressed. Missed what? What did you miss? We've been calling for this breakout for weeks. Philly Skills 1428 said we love the live shows regardless. Joseph Tokar said, hey Jeb, Club DeFi is amazing, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. About dang time you're back to your old flow. I appreciate you, Artemka. Why is Sol not moving? Great question. I have an answer for you. Part of the answer is that you should be buying right now. Get your opportunity while you can. Irish Aries Matt Stevens in chat. 50 by end of week. All right. I want to do a lot of reading chat, but let's jump into some technicals. We got some people joining in and clicking out because they're seeing that we're not on the chart. So let's jump straight onto the chart, and we will continue to analyze what's going on Bitcoin. As you know, Bitcoin has been on a massive rally over the course of the last several weeks. We are currently up nearly $19,000 from where we began this rally at $25,000 back on September the 12th. And in that time, we've rallied 75%. The last time we saw a rally to this caliber was at the beginning of the previous bull market when we were originally rallying all the way back to all-time high. This is the most comparable example of a market that we can pull from to date. We rallied from $10,000 to $19,900 in the span of just 83 days. That was a doubling on the price action of Bitcoin. A lot of people made a whole lot of money during that time, including myself and probably including a lot of you guys. And that was the beginning of the bull market. The actual bull market really kicked off after we breached all-time high. So the time around halving tends to be the time that you end up going back to all-time high. Couple of notes that we want to point out here. First and foremost, we actually went back to all-time high about 8 months, about 6 months after the halving event. Halving took place, I want to say May 11th. I always get the date wrong. I want to say May 11th back here in 2020. About 6 months later into November, we hit all-time high. Right now, we're looking at a very similar run, except instead of having this run occur while we are 6 months post-halving, we're actually looking at this run occurring 4 months pre-halving, which indicates two things. Number one, it indicates that the Bitcoin market is stronger than ever before. Number two, it indicates that the bear market was not as deep, which we know that from percentage retracement. We can see that the bear market was a retracement of 77% this time. The previous bear market was a retracement of 85%. So Bitcoin is starting to smoothen out, which is a sign of maturity. In the stock market, you're not going to be seeing 77% corrections. You're going to be seeing 20 to 40% corrections. That is a sign that is a more mature, larger, and more robust market. Bitcoin is moving in that direction. It's an overall sign of strength for the long run. And the fact that we're going back to all-time high so quickly is also an overall sign that many of the people that got out of the space back in 2020, late 2021, early 2022, during the beginning of the bear market, were actually not out for good. They were sitting on the sidelines waiting to redeploy. And right now, Bitcoin has managed to break through one of the most important resistance zones that it needed to breach to be able to go back to all-time high. That, of course, being the 0.618 to 0.65% golden pocket here on Fibonacci. This is the all-important place that Bitcoin needed to break. And we can also see that the same thing was necessary here in 2018 and 2019. We had to break through the golden pocket, 0.618 to 0.65, to be able to go into the bull market. Now, there is a bit of a caution here. When Bitcoin broke through the Fibonacci golden pocket, it rallied up to 0.786, and then it went through almost a year of correction before we actually saw the bull market really kick into full swing. And that may be something similar to what we're seeing here. It's very possible that Bitcoin rallies all the way up here to $50,000, which is a number we're going to talk about very soon. Someone in chat even said that 50K by the end of the week is in the cards, and I think it absolutely is. But if that happens, the question we must ask then becomes, are we actually going to see it go back to all-time high, or will 0.786 at $50,000 be our ultimate resistance? Again, framing what we're talking about with those three questions. What's going on right now? What's going on in this market? What's the strength? Then we'll move to where do we think Bitcoin is going, when, and how, because things are changing by the minute right now. And then I will tell you I will give you an application on how you can walk away from this market with action steps to actually make money in this market. And I will tell you exactly what I am doing right now. So, following our train of thought, let's start first with analyzing what's going on Bitcoin on the minute chart. Bitcoin was trading in a symmetrical triangle pattern this morning on Coffee and Crypto, and I gave you guys the hint that we were probably going to see a breakout above $42,500 within the day. If you'll remember today's episode, and I apologize it wasn't on my chart there, this was the resistance at 42,500. Breaking above it right there. If you will remember to this morning, the title of today's stream was that a breakout might be just minutes away, and funnily enough, that breakout actually began while we were on stream, and we were kind of called it like a little bit of a horse race there for a second. But it was titled, New Bitcoin Breakout Minutes Away, ? Bitcoin testing critical resistance live. And so when we looked at the market, we were looking at it through this lens of this symmetrical triangle pattern. And this symmetrical triangle pattern was in the process of breaking bullish as we were live this morning. Now, ever since then, over the last 4 to 5 hours, we have seen massive volume. This even looks like a big middle finger to the bears. You can see the green right here. Green volume coming in. And if we go down onto the minute chart, even the 5-minute chart maybe, you can see that Bitcoin has broken all the way above this local high that it set here for the year back on Monday, which was yesterday, at about 5:20 in the afternoon. When we broke above that level, we put a small little chink in the armor here while we were live right around 10:45. We called that. As far as by calling it, I mean we were commentating on that live. And then I gave you a hint that, look, a breakout is probably coming very soon. The bulls were remarkably strong, and That's exactly what we've seen happen. Bitcoin has pushed onto new highs, and our current yearly high is at $44,106. Several things that we were looking at to predict that was probably going to occur this morning. We talked about how MACD had reversed and the histogram had shifted to the upside around 4 a.m. this morning. We also talked around about how RSI had bottomed down around 3 to 4 a.m. and it shifted to the upside, and how we had seen the MACD cross bullish and how RSI crossed above the 14 interval moving average. All of those in combination with the buy pressure coming in from volume indicated a further break to the upside. And at the same time, if you'll remember I think last Friday, might have been yesterday, I'm not sure. At some point, I talked about $45,000 being our first level of resistance that we would run into before we got to 49 to 51, which is our next level. If you'll remember, we mentioned how $45,000 was a local high that we set back here at the beginning of the bear market. We double topped here, then we briefly broke through it up to 48. Which is a major level of resistance that we've been paying attention to. And when we actually rallied up to that $45,000 mark, we've pulled back down to it here. We used it as support here, used it as resistance here. We set 45K as an important level. And $45,000 is now the level that we are paying close attention to, because on the 5-minute chart, we're back there. Guys, markets move fast. They move fast. They move fast. And so it shouldn't really surprise us that Bitcoin's kind of just going parabolic here. The issue is that this starts getting tricky to predict because we're breaking out of the traditional market structure. 90 to 95% of the time, the market is moving in a way that is largely very predictable. And the reason for that is because you're within a certain range of bullishness between the strength of the bulls and the bears. One of the things we talk on all the time is the strength of the bulls and the bears. And in fact, even over in CT2A, which today's episode of Not Coffee and Crypto, but this live stream is brought to you in part by CT2A, our very own cryptocurrency technical analysis academy. We talk about the strength of the bulls and the bears, gauging the strength of the bulls and the bears. It is one of the most foundational concepts in technical analysis, because if you understand who's stronger, then you can understand who has the initiative. Let me put it this way. If you have a besieging army and you understand that the army on the outside is twice as strong as the army on the inside, or on one side of the field is twice as strong as the army on the other side of the field, then you can gauge, all right, now that I understand the composition of both armies, the army of bulls, the army of the bears, that's a funny thought picture. If you are able to gauge who's stronger, then you can kind of get an idea for which way the battle's going to go. Now, there can always be an underdog story, but generally speaking, if you know who's stronger, you know who's going to win. That's about the way it works. It really is about that simple. It's my goal to take complicated nuances of technical analysis and make them as simple for you as possible so that you can walk away with something, some understanding that will help you in your journey in crypto. And so the thing that makes it hard to predict right now how far Bitcoin is going to go, and why I'm kind of being careful about saying it's going to go here or there on this minute or this day, is because we don't have a strong gauge of the strength of the bulls and the bears. Think about it like this. Let's say that I were to tell you that you have a certain army, and you're trying to gauge the strength of the bulls and the bears in this other army by the strength of the bulls and the bears in this one army. Let's say you've got an army of 10,000, and I'm here to tell you that this other army is twice as strong as that reference army, or this other army is 3 times as strong as that reference army. What happens if I don't give you a reference and I just say it's pretty strong? That's kind of what the market does. I'm not sure if you can track with that, but that's kind of what the market does in situations like this. We get this shadow of the bulls, and we get this shadow that they're relatively strong, but we don't really have anything to compare it to because we haven't seen the bulls be this strong in so long. The last time we saw the bulls this strong was over 2.5 years ago, so we don't really know what a bullish faction, what the bullish side of the equation looks like being this strong, because we have nothing to compare it to. There is nothing comparable to what's going on in Bitcoin right now in the last 3 years. The last time we saw Bitcoin rally $17,000 or $18,000 in 90 days was over 2.5 years ago during the last bull market. So we have to go all the way back there, but the thing is the market has changed. The thing is we're not all the way past all-time high yet. So actually a lot of the analogies break down a little bit because those rallies happen above all-time high. These are happening below. It's very difficult for us to then understand how far the market is going to go because there are limitations to technical analysis. And part of the limitations for that is that technical analysis is the study of market structure and trends. And when you're in a new market structure and when you're in a new trend, that gives you some challenge. One of the most important things I will ever teach you about technical analysis is not what it can do, but what it cannot do, so that you remain humble and you don't go trying to make certain decisions that you don't actually have the ability to make, so that you don't actually make predictions that are folly. And that's why when I tell you where I think Bitcoin's going to go, I say I think it's going to go in this direction, And if it goes in this direction, these are the levels it's going to go for. These are the levels it's going to take a pit stop at. The first one was 45,000. Well, guess what? We just topped out at 44.1. So that ended up being relevant. But what you're hearing a dearth of me saying right now is that I think it's going to go to this level on this day, and I am giving you that much specifics about this specific rally, the day it's going to break out and whatnot. Now, I have obviously said that it was going to break out in a few minutes, and it broke out. Well, I mean, let's just see. I made that title this morning. Where am I trying to look here? I made that title for this morning's stream right a couple of minutes before we went live. I like to keep the titles as relevant as possible. I wrote the title for this stream that we were just minutes away from a breakout, like right here, and an hour and a half later, we broke out. So, I mean, yes, I'm going to give you timing when I believe I know what it is, and we have been very blessed in that, I will say. I don't want to brag on myself. I want to brag on the Lord that gave me a brain, and I want to brag on the people that came before me that created technical analysis. I am simply supposed to be a microphone and a spokesperson for the glory of God and for also the smart people that came up with all of this technical analysis. I'm just a communicator that tries to teach it to you. But what I will say is that we can look at the direction we think we're going to break out. We can even get some idea of the timing, but we can also know what levels are going to be important. So the first part of our equation today, what is the overarching picture of what's going on here and where are we going next? We're in a major breakout. The bullish pressure right now is stronger than it has been in a very long time, which means we don't have much market structure to go by, which means we don't have many trends to analyze, which means it is difficult for us to make concrete predictions in the way that we might if Bitcoin were ranging or if it were going through a certain trend that we have 3 repeating cycles of. And that is just simply one of the limitations of technical analysis. That being said, technical analysis can give us a great deal of insight even still. And one of the things that we're seeing here is that RSI right now is only sitting at 80, whereas before, back in October, it rallied up to 85. Two things that we can discern from that are as follows. Number one, Bitcoin potentially can go even farther here. Bitcoin could potentially rally all the way up to 0.786, which is $50,000, and only go to about the same level of RSI that we went to when we originally rallied up to $35,000. It's possible then that Bitcoin just trading sideways and even slightly increasing in price action here reset the RSI far enough that Bitcoin could rally to $50,000 without so much as taking a break, which means that that rally could happen within minutes, hours, or days. We're going to come back to whether it will or not in a moment, but I'm letting you know the possibility is there. A second concern for RSI is that there is bearish RSI divergence, downtrending highs, uptrending highs on price action, and so if we don't go to 85, then you're looking at a large degree of bearish RSI divergence, and you're looking at a major correction. Please keep in mind that no matter what happens, a correction is going to happen. A correction may not be a $10,000 drop. Back when we were rallying to all-time high, the correction below all-time high was 24 days of sideways action. That's still a correction. It's more so in the department of consolidation, but it's in the same vein where the market is regathering strength, is what I mean by correction here. So, all of that to say, Bitcoin is exceptionally bullish right now, and it will continue to be bullish here. I also want to show you the parabola here. We have to adjust the parabola quite a bit to make it fit, and it doesn't even really fit. But you can see there is a parabolic uptrend going on. It's almost impossible to even get it to fit, but I think you can see it. We're going almost completely vertical. You can go vertical for a time, but then you start trading sideways or down. And that's what we saw happen over here. We went basically parabolic. In this case, it didn't so much look like a parabola, but it was an uptrending, a very, very steep uptrending level. But we ended up using that level as resistance later on. And so right now, we're following through this parabolic uptrending curve right here. But eventually, we will break through that. We'll trade straight through it before long. It won't be long, and we'll trade straight through it. That will be as early as morning tomorrow that we trade straight through that parabolic curve. So Bitcoin is going to be, how shall I say, humbled at some point. When will that happen? We don't know yet. We honestly don't have much of an understanding at all of when that will happen, but we do know it will come. Bitcoin is flying very close to the sun right now, and eventually Bitcoin is going to end up having a corrective movement, and we want to not be overexposed when that day comes. Could Bitcoin rally farther? For sure. This rally has already rallied $8,000. This rally before, which we seem to have corrected from pretty easily, was also an $8,000 rally. At its peak was $11,000. My point here, when I start getting into the price targets, is that we want to be careful because there's going to be a correction and the majority of the rally has already happened. I can virtually promise you that. I'm not sure because I can't see the future. I'm not totally 100% certain on that, but I can be quite confident in saying that the majority of the rally that we're currently in has probably already happened, which means that you're probably already past the halfway point, which means your time to get into a long trade, at least if you're trying to trade the entire movement, has maybe passed. Now, if you're down on the minute chart or the 5-minute chart, sure, there very well may be a place where you could enter into a short-term trade with a bit of leverage. Now, an example of that was this morning. I told you we're breaking bullish here out of the symmetrical triangle pattern. A long trade could be an option here. Just be very, very careful and make sure that if you're doing that, you're an experienced trader. And we can even see that a bull flag was painted, and that bull flag essentially came to fruition. It pointed to $44,000. That's basically where we rallied. I would not be at all surprised to see something similar happening on the minute chart here as we paint this descending wedge where we break bullish out of this and rally a little farther. Point of concern for me is that we have a head and shoulders pattern forming right there. I hope that you can kind of see the almost a mountain that's kind of falling over right now on the price. This is definitely not very bullish price action on the minute chart, although it certainly looks like it on the hourly chart. Now, we've kind of talked about what's going on Bitcoin right now. Let's also talk a little bit about where Bitcoin is going to top out and what the next levels that we need to pay attention to are. One of the next major levels that I'm looking at, sorry for all the jumping around here. Let's go to the BLX chart. One of the next major levels that we're going to be looking out for is, of course, $45,000. We're not quite there yet, but it's not far away. $45,000 is that local high that we talked about so much that you can see right here, here, support, resistance, over and over and over again. And above that would be $48,500, and above that would be $50,000. $48,500 is the level that we used as resistance here on the 28th of March, 2022 on our first bear market high. And then also 0.786 is sitting at $50,000. And so those are the three levels that we're going to look at. I generally try and tell you what the next three major levels are going to be that we're going to want to pay close attention to here in the cryptocurrency space, because it may actually end up stopping out. And that is information that is very important if you're entering into a trade, because you need to know where to exit it. So that is my current analysis of the overall current state of the market, but I also want to talk about how you can apply what's going on in the market right now to being a profitable trader, and you're gonna hate me because it's gonna be simple. All right, I want to dispel this myth that making money in cryptocurrency has to be super complicated. Every guru wants to come to you and tell you, because I've got the secret sauce. They want to come to you and they want to tell you, I got it figured out. I know how to make you a millionaire. I know how to make you a billionaire. I know how you can become rich in the cryptocurrency markets. And it's this simple. You just got to follow this one trick. You just got to do this one thing. And it's really complicated, but I'm super smart, so I can explain it to you. Here's what you need to do if you want to be successful in cryptocurrency. Okay? This is going to be simple because it's common sense and it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't even have to involve trading. If you are a trader, you can make a lot of money because you're a trader. You can. You make a ton of money being a trader. You can also lose a lot of money trading. And I have nothing against trading. In fact, if you want to trade, I recommend Apex Dex. You can find the link in the description box down below. I use that from time to time. I'm predominantly an investor for the reason I'm about to talk about. The easiest way, most reliable way, least time-consuming way to make money in the cryptocurrency market is very simply to dollar cost average every Friday into the top 20 cryptocurrencies with a portion of your paycheck. Let me just kind of outline the overarching theory of how you become successful in any investment and then apply it to cryptocurrency. First and foremost, make sure you're not being absolutely crippled by debt. Make sure that you're not paying 25% on credit cards every single month. Whatever. Chill out on the debt, all right? Get control over your own finances and make sure that you have a budget. Make sure you have a budget. Get out of high yield debt. If you're paying 3% on your mortgage, by the way, you're going to feel better when you don't have a mortgage because it's going to actually feel like it's your house and you're not going to lose it if you lose your income. But I understand from a financial standpoint, I can make 100% the next year here in crypto. I think I will pay 3% here on my mortgage. I'm going to hold off on paying on my mortgage. I'm going to make investments because the risk to reward there is a factor. I understand that. If you're paying 25% on credit cards, then you got to deal with that because that is going to drag you down and you might not have an opportunity to make the investments that you want to make. Even if you're paying off high yield debt, though, to step away from personal finance for a second, because we're talking about crypto and investments here, you need to make sure you have a budget set up where you know how much money you're going to put in every single month. You might put in $400 a month. You might put in $200 a month. You might put in $500 a month. You might put in $1,000 a month. You might put in $40,000 a month. I don't know how much it is. Doesn't really matter. It can be $10 a month for all I care. I believe that you're going to be successful no matter what you do if you follow the system that I'm about to tell you, and it is painfully simple. It does not have to be complicated, and you may have even heard it before. But I am going to tell you the truth, and I'm not going to make it more complicated than it needs to be, because that would be against my purpose, which is to make complicated things simple so that you can actually make some money, and you're not caught up here for the next 12 months of bull market trying to figure out this stuff. Sign up for Kraken or Coinbase or Binance or whatever, and set up recurring purchases on certain cryptocurrencies. What cryptocurrencies? Top 20, I would personally, and I am personally going to be excluding Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. 2 reasons. Bitcoin Cash is a complete, I would say, fraud of Bitcoin. I really do not like the way it was hard forked. And Litecoin, unfortunately, just doesn't have enough differentiation for Bitcoin to be something that I think is going to succeed in the long run. Dogecoin, even Sheeb, even because they will probably have these little moon pumps at some point. Yeah, go ahead and dollar cost average a little bit into them. Why not? A minimal percentage, but maybe 1% of the total monthly. Let's say you got $100 a month. Put 50 into Bitcoin. This is not specific investment advice. This is just an example portfolio. 50 bucks into Bitcoin, 20 bucks into ETH, 10 bucks into ADA, $5 into XRP, $5 into Solana, whatever the numbers are, but you get the idea. The lower market capitalization, the lower amount you're going to put in every week. And then as we get further into the bull market, then you will have this portfolio that you've built. And it will be up, to be honest with you, probably at least a couple 100%. And you will have made life-changing wealth. And on top of that, you don't have to stop there. You can get more complicated and you can say, look, we are going to continue moving on here, and we're going to put more money into a moon bag. We're going to put more money into ADA because I love it. We're going to put more money into ETH because I love it, or Cardano or Sol because I love it, or whatever. So those are the 3 points I wanted to make to you today. Number one, we're going to continue doing some technical analysis here, but number one, I want you to understand that the cryptocurrency market right now is moving very quickly. There are some limitations to what we can tell with technical analysis, with strength, and when things are going to happen and where the top is. But I can at least tell you that a breakout has occurred. I can at least tell you what the next levels that we're looking at are, and I can at least tell you if I see anything concerning about the strength of the bulls. Right now, they're just straight up rampaging, and I don't see an end in sight for that yet. But there is a small correction here, and we'll see if that develops into something larger. Second factor, as I mentioned a second ago, what are our next levels? Our next levels are $45,000. They are $50,000, $48,500, and they are $50,000. So those are the current levels that we're looking at. And the third thing I wanted to talk about was the way that you're actually going to make money in this market. We're going to continue moving on here. If you are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to sign up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. You can find that link in the description box down below. And if you sign up for that, you're going to have a significantly easier time profiting in this market because it will teach you exactly how to profit in this market. All right, good deal. So read a little bit of chat. Jay Logsdon36 Logsdon said, oh yeah, I'm utilizing Apex. Good deal. Love it. Mark Braunschweig, cool name, said, got Lux Algo on the Black Friday sale. Now hoping for a large pump, sell signal, then dump. Stoked to accumulate on the way up and on the way down. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Let's see. Make sure you like this video. Jeb is always here giving us good TA and fundamentals. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right, let's keep going here. We are in greed right now. Somebody mentioned being in greed. We are very deep in greed, and this is typically the time that you want to be considering finding a exit position. If you entered in at 25, you want to be looking at exiting right now. OMA season chat. Sometimes highly polished professionalism is less palatable than just real life. Yeah, Gravy Train, that's true. I like showing behind the scenes. I just like doing it when it's planned. But every time you guys have seen something behind the scenes, you just see something that I've already told you in public. So it's like, well, you're just seeing that I'm not lying to you, I suppose. Let's see. Want to schedule a one-on-one training session with you. I do have a link for financial coaching down below if you are interested in that. I haven't been pushing it much because $150 an hour, and to be honest with you, I honestly am thinking I might even need to make that more expensive just to make it worth my while, but I do love meeting with you guys one-on-one, so I'm willing to keep it that low. If you guys are interested in financial coaching, links down below. But let's keep going here. I know you guys are very interested in some charting. Pause to drink one of my wife's cherry Coke. She was very generous to give this to me. I really appreciate her. All right. Let's cover some altcoins, guys. Ethereum right now hit a local high at $2,300 just minutes ago. Very exciting stuff, guys. I remember when Ethereum started its previous bull market, and I got into ETH at $200, $300, $400, $500, and I'm feeling like you're going to see a lot of the same thing happening on those altcoins. That's why I'm encouraging you to load up on them now. I could see Solana at $1,000. I could see ADA at $5 to $10. I could see all of these cryptocurrencies absolutely moonshotting And so don't be surprised if you get into them now and you end up making a lot of money in this bull market. Make sure that you get into them, though. It's so nice to look back in Coinbase and be like, oh, I bought it $138 on ETH. Was it 138? Maybe not 138. Well, actually, yeah, I think I have one purchase at 130 market. And here's one more thing I'll mention on this. Last bull market, you were able to see, you know, 1,600, 2,000% gains on ETH. It's probably not going to happen this bull market. It's probably not going to rally 2,000%. If it rallied 2,000%, ETH would be trading at 40 grand. I don't think that's going to happen. But when you look at a crypto that's already rallied to 250, right? So it's actually a lot more realistic. That's why I recommend investing in those lower cap altcoins that are still high enough that they're in the top 10, top 15, top 20. I mean, we're looking at like our Chainlinks, for example. I mean, look at Chainlink, guys. Chainlink's all-time high is up here at 54. Right now it's 16. Just to go back to all-time high, you've got a triple. To go to $100, you're up 600%. Imagine putting $100 in that. You got $600 now. $100 might sound like, it's not that much. You got $600 in Chainlink, and you're thinking, man, I got some money. That's nice. I want you to go make 5, 6, 7, 800% this bull market. Very simple. It's not complicated. Buy the top 20, dollar cost average the top 20, make money. Simple, right? Easy. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about some other markets, and I'm going to start briefly just for a second on the SPY. Just want to mention the SPY is breaking out. There's bullishness on the SPY. That's helping Bitcoin. All right. Said enough on the stock market. Let's get back to ETH. Ethereum. Our end-of-year price prediction since March was 2,500 to 4,000. And in November, it was starting to look like, we might not make it that far. Ethereum might not make it all the way back up to 2,500. Will it? At this point, it might. ETH has gone on a major rally. It's up 47%, but it's honestly kind of underperformed compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's basically doubled. Ethereum has not. The altcoins have gotten left behind quite a bit, but that means the altcoins are going to catch up. And that also means that Bitcoin has paved the way for them to catch up. So we want to go ahead and get into them now so that when the altcoins do start to catch up, that we're able to take advantage of that. I'm telling you from experience, guys. Like I said, I've been in the market for over 6 years now. I've been running this channel for over 6 years now. And I have so many different transactions back in the day that I'm like, shoot, man, I wish I could go back and do that again. Right? Buying ETH at 138 or 252 or whatever the number is. I look at some people that I've helped make investments, and they were, somebody I was helping make an investment, they were worried that they were upside down on their investments. And I looked at them like, wait a minute, you bought ETH at $650. What do you mean you think you're upside down? You're up 250%. You're great. And they're like, really? Yay. I'm like, I just look at them like the average cost basis entry. You know, you're looking at it on Coinbase, it says price purchased, I think is what it says on Coinbase. It says $656. And you're like, man, good for you. You're going to experience the same thing 5 years from now if you get into these smaller cap altcoins. And I'm really excited because I actually finally managed to get my Coinbase back. So I'm going to be setting that up myself. I'm going to be actually following the same advice I'm telling you guys. And I'll tell you guys how that portfolio is doing. I'm probably going to be doing $100 a week into altcoins. I've already got a huge crypto portfolio, but I want to put some more money into those altcoins. I'm probably going to dump some lump sums into that as well. And I might rank that up. But that's what we're going to be doing, $400 a month. And I'm going to tell you how that portfolio performs. I'm going to be tracking it with you guys here on the channel and showing you how it's doing. I'm getting that set up. I'm going to be back into the Coinbase account in 2 hours, actually. I finally got it fixed. I'd been locked out of it for like a year because, anyway, ID verification thing, you guys know what that's like with Coinbase. But we're back into it now. Actually got somebody on the phone. They were able to help me. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to start with $100 a week just because I've already got a pretty large crypto portfolio. I want to kind of balance out the overall investments I have. I'm putting a lot of money into the stock market because I neglected that for like 5 years, and it's got a big rally coming also. Putting money into a bunch of different things. Already very heavily exposed to crypto, so don't want to put too much in. If I want to put like $1,000 a week, I probably could. But I've already got so much exposure, I want to change my exposure into other things as well. But anyway. The point is, we're going to be doing that dollar cost averaging. Let's talk about the market and where we're going from here, though. If we look at the weekly chart on ETH, I want to talk about ETH a little bit. We're looking at a buy signal coming into play on MACD. We're looking at MACD is cross bullish, and we're also looking at RSI is cross bullish back in early October. From early October, we broke above this downtrending level of resistance. And that downtrending level of resistance sent us up here to a local high that we just breached at 2140. 2140 breaking was a major deal for Bitcoin because when 2140 for Ethereum, I'm sorry, because when 2140 broke just a few days ago, back on Saturday, that indicated that Ethereum had moved into a new ball game. Ethereum had really started to go into a new into a new league. Into a new league. A lot of times that's a little bit difficult for a trader and an analyst because when the market is in a new when the market is in a new zone above a certain level, then we have to establish some kind of market structure to really understand what's going on. Right now, being above 2140 just indicates to us that we have to kind of figure out what the market structure is going to be like. But so far, it's a good thing because we have set a higher high. Now, one thing I also will mention is that there's a level of resistance right here. Let's go to another Ethereum chart. It's a little cleaner. Not by much. Let's get another chart. You guys said you liked the behind the scenes. So here's the behind the scenes. Every chart I go on ETH has charting on it just because, you know, I'm a chartist. That's kind of what I do for a living. Hi, welcome to Crypto Jeb. I'm a technical analyst in case you didn't gather that. But there's an uptrending level of resistance here on Ethereum that we're contending with. And that's one of the big things I want to talk to you today about is that there is a certain place to say that Ethereum may have a difficulty getting through that uptrending level of resistance. At the same time, I wouldn't put it past ETH to just blow the doors off of that uptrend because it's done it before. A lot of times I'd say that there's this ascending wedge, and that could break bearish. I think you'd have to have an overall massive market correction to cause that to occur. Not really worried about that in case you're seeing that on your charts. Out on the monthly chart, things are looking great as well. RSI's converging bullish. We see the RSI broke above 50, fell down to support on the 14 interval moving average, broke above that. MACD is crossing bullish on monthly chart on ETH. Very big deal there. That's a lot of bullishness coming in. 3 white soldiers forming there. Volume starting to turn around, go up. You can see the volume starting to increase here. And this is on Binance. So this is a good chart to be looking at volume on. Overall, things are starting to look very good for ETH. And you might be thinking, well, man, I already missed the rally. Shoot, man, ETH was at 1,600, now it's at 2,200. Well, here's the thing. For Ethereum to go back to all-time high, which I think it most certainly will, is a 220% rally from that bottom at 1,600. To go back to all-time high from where it is right now, it's still a 120% rally. Now, it might not be 220%, but still a 120% rally. If you have not invested in that market yet, I would recommend that you do it. You can make life-changing wealth. Now, there are several other altcoins I want to touch on briefly. I'm going to kind of run down them here on CoinMarketCap. First one is Binance. Binance has been under the weather lately because CZ departed the company, and that is sad because CZ was one of the warriors for the space, and he very much followed the shoot first, ask questions later mentality, ask for forgiveness rather than permission mentality, and that's not always the best mentality, but it did kind of work in this situation. He's obviously fined a bunch of money and maybe facing a little bit of prison time, and he obviously did some things that were wrong as far as he admitted to that. But in general, Binance, the company, is doing very well, and the cryptocurrency has performed very well. It didn't get hit too bad by the lawsuit and by the admission of guilt, but it also hasn't rallied much in the wake of all this other rallying going on in the altcoin space. It's been pretty steady at 230, which I actually think is a sign of strength. And so I would recommend having some Binance in your portfolio. Ultimately, it's your decision, but I think Binance, the company, is going to be just fine. And it's not going to lose its standing just because CZ departed. The company's way bigger than him at this point. And I think it's going to succeed. XRP, same deal. Not really taking part in many of these rallies, but I don't think that's something to be concerned about. I think they're both going to go back to all-time high. So I would recommend having them in your portfolio. Solana is sitting up 7% in the last 7 days. Solana, I think, is poised to go through a massive bull market this season. I do have some concerns about Solana, but I think that those concerns are not going to stop it from going through a rally. And I think to not have it right now would be a little bit asinine. Cardano up 8.3%. All-time highs coming back to ADA, I believe. So get some of that. Dogecoin up 15%. Excited to see that. I would not be surprised to see an all-time high run on Dogecoin during this bull market. You're going to see a resurgence of the whole, oh my gosh, it's Dogecoin. You're going to see that come back. And to see Dogecoin go back to all-time high would be a rally of, I don't know, 800%, 6, 7, 800%. So there's money to be made there. Tron. Yeah, I'm not as convinced it's going to go back to all-time high, but I think it will. I think it's one that is kind of neutral, so throw it in that basic investment portfolio. If you want to exclude it, you can. Just make sure you have a good reason. I have good reasons why I'm excluding Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, but with Tron, I couldn't give you one. I think it will do well. Chainlink has already doubled in price. Actually, it's almost tripled, and it'll triple again to get back to all-time high. Don't miss your boat on that. Polygon, I'd get some. Avalanche, I'd get some. Polkadot, I would get some. Believe it or not, I actually would get some. Cosmos, same deal. Invest in those altcoins. You're going to be glad that you got entries at these levels. Even though you missed some entries a few weeks ago, getting entries at this level is going to be very good for you. My first buy my first purchase of crypto was ADA in 2018. Oliver Queen II said, shout out to you. If you were still holding that, are going to be very glad that you did. Too much gas fees in ETH, and that is where you're going to see major rallies on Solana and some of the other cryptocurrencies as a result of that. Bob Hayes said that's a very good sign. How high can ETH go this market cycle? Maybe 10 grand. I could see a 400% return on that. Emil Give is saying, can we have some .TA? We'll probably look at that in a minute. Mini bull, then mega bull next year. I think you're basically right. Yes. Believe it or not, this is a miniature rally compared to what we will be seeing. But it's percentage-wise about the same size. Some of your tones sound like Jim Rohn. Forget what Jim Rohn sounds like. How long is altcoin season on average? 18 months, something like that. Seek and Hunt, why is Jeb so hyped today? I love being here with you guys and learning more about the crypto markets alongside you. By the way, if you're enjoying today's stream, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. We upload content every single day here on the YouTube channel, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it because I do believe that we're going to be able to bring you some value. And by the way, if you have not already signed up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, over here we've got over 45 videos teaching you everything that you need to know about the cryptocurrency space so that you can profit in it. Let me just give you an example. This is a shovel to a miner. This is a pick to a gold miner. This is, this is a wrench to a mechanic. I am giving you the tools of the trade. Simply, to be a successful investor, to be a successful trader, you must have technical analysis. You will not succeed without getting lucky or without having technical analysis. Being lucky is not a great bet, so I would bet on technical analysis. Technical analysis is the foundation. And I hear what you're saying. You're saying, but Jab, the news makes the charts. I'm just going to read the news. Yeah, but if the news makes the charts, then the charts are what you need to be looking at. And the way you look at the charts through the eyes of technical analysis. I've been doing TA every single day on this market for over 6 years. I've been doing technical analysis on this market longer than just about anybody you're going to find on YouTube. And so I've worked in this for a very long time. I've learned a lot about TA, and I want to pour out my heart and share with you guys, with also the communication skills I've been blessed with, how to understand the technical analysis. I want to make it simple for you so that it's digestible, so that it's accessible. I want to make complicated concepts as simple as possible for as many people as possible so that you can go and be successful with them. And so CT2A is the place that I do that. That's where I pour my heart out and teach you guys the things that I know about technical analysis and a little bit of trading and investing so that you're able to actually make money in the market. So if you've not already signed up for CT2A, make sure to check it out. The link in the description box down below. Every single other kind of analysis goes back to TA. Why? Well, anything that impacts the markets impacts the markets. And what is the market? The market is a price action graph. The fundamental analysis impacts the markets. The on-chain impacts the markets. The sentiment analysis impacts the markets. The definition of technical analysis is the art and the science of understanding the way the markets move. It is looking at price, ultimately, and then derivatives of that price in the form of technical indicators. There is a saying that Edward Dow came up with, the founder of Dow Theory, who, by the way, he's also the founder of the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the Wall Street Journal. So, got a bit of a pedigree there. Founded technical analysis about 130 years ago, and he said the charts average everything. And basically what that means is that if something matters to the market, it's going to impact the market. Sounds tautological, sounds too simple to be true. Well, that's kind of how it works if you drill down to the bottom of a definition. Why is it like this? Well, because it's like this. Why is gravity 9.81 meters per second squared? Because it's 9.81 meters per second squared. If you want to go into it and dig into the actual physics, sure, you can find the reason. But the point is, the prices average everything. It's a bit like saying, well, why do I need to open my eyes to see anything? Well, because you see things through your eyes. That's how you know that you found a kernel of wisdom. You found a nugget. In Toyota, they call it the 5 whys. Ask why 5 times till you get to the root answer, and the root answer is going to just be cyclical. Why do I have to open my eyes? Well, to see things. Well, how do I see things? Well, by opening your eyes. Why? Well, that's the way it works. You know, my children find that all the time. They say why like 15 times. And then eventually you just get down and you say this. Well, why? Well, because of this. Well, why? Well, because of this. Well, why? Well, because of this. Well, I can't go any deeper. That's just the reason. You know, it's the same thing with markets. If you drill down far enough in any form of analysis, you will get to the kernel, which is that you have to analyze the price. Why? Because everything that impacts the price impacts the price. And the price is impacted by everything that impacts the price. That sounds too simple to be true, but it is that simple. And if you want to understand any form of analysis, you have to understand the price. Well, how do you do that? Technical analysis. Mic drop. There you go. And I do believe we have the best academy in the entire market on technical analysis. So if you're interested, it's up to you. Links in the description box down below. We've helped over 5,000 people learn how to read markets. All right. You guys think we're coming back under 40? I wouldn't rule it out. But I'm also not calling for that right now. Let's see. Let's read some chat here for a second. OMAC said, check your Discord. I will do that, OMAC. Thank you. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to really call. I've been so busy lately. I've been just so overwhelmingly busy. I do apologize for that, OMAC. BlackRock showed 100K in seed funding for the ETF. Should we be concerned so little amount, or is that just what they have listed? Yeah, so... No, you should not be concerned about that. And yes, that is one of the things that is leading to this rally. The unknown seed investor agreed to purchase 100,000 shares on October 27, 2023. BlackRock's latest listing, latest filings revealed. So, why should you not be concerned about this? October 27th is October 27th. The market is right here. Right there. Right there. We just had a major rally. Dumped 100K into it. That was a couple of months ago. There's probably a lot more in there now. And by the way, a lot of people are going to buy the ETF when it goes live. Just because that's all you've seen in the seed funding, and that's not all you've seen in the seed funding, by the way. That's just one story. Does not mean that there's one, not more. And that doesn't mean that two, that there's not going to be more. What that does mean is that it's probably going to get approved. BlackRock revealed that it received $100,000 as seed capital for its proposed Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. The investment giant disclosed in a fresh application with the U.S. SEC. The seed capital investor agreed to purchase 100,000 shares on October 27, 2023. And on October 27, 2023, took delivery of 4,000 shares at per share price of $25. The seed shares, the filing said. Notice, they actually sold them. Notice, this is with the SEC. Notice, the SEC could have stopped them from giving them those shares. Notice, if the SEC was going to deny the ETF, or if they even thought they were going to deny the ETF, they probably would have told them not to do that. Because they would have just had to refund it. And it's kind of putting a little bit of the cart before the horse if BlackRock's not pretty certain that they're going to get the thing approved. Seed capital represents the initial funding that allows an ETF to fund the creation units underlying the ETF so that shares can be offered and traded in the open market. Remember, any market needs liquidity. Big part of the purpose of this is to provide liquidity for the market. BlackRock's proposed iShares Bitcoin Trust will invest in Bitcoin rather than futures tied to the leading cryptocurrency as one of the 13 applications awaiting regulatory approval. The SEC is widely expected to greenlight one or more spot Bitcoin ETFs early next year, with Bloomberg analysts putting the probability of an approval in January at 90%. All the more reason to get into your investments now. Good deal. Justin Eubanks said hashtag FinSolve. Absolutely. Grand Roofing Incorporated said hashtag CT2A. Justin Eubanks said CT2A is legit. The videos are very informative. Thank you so much, Justin Eubanks. Looking forward to putting more content in there. I have been just dying to shoot this one video, and I finally think I'm ready for it. I just gotta carve out the time and say, boom, I'm shooting this right now, and then it's going to go in at some point, probably before the end of the year. We're constantly going to be putting more content into there. Thanks for keeping me level-headed, Gilbert Gilly said. Absolutely. This looks like a perfect copy of the summer 2019 rally. Back then, Bitcoin later retested the bottom, a 70% drop before starting the bull market. Yes, although it probably wouldn't have dropped that far had it not been for the pandemic, but then again, it probably wouldn't have rallied to $70,000 if not for the pandemic either. We had this uptrend at the time. We probably would have held that uptrend largely and then probably gone through a rally around the same time. We back-tested the original bottom because of the pandemic. I almost said the name, but still thinking that it's going to get me banned from YouTube just saying the name of the pandemic. Isn't that sad? That is sad. All right. We're going to go for a couple more minutes here, and then I'm going to wrap it out. I hope you guys are enjoying today's second stream. If you guys have not already signed up for CT2A, make sure to check out the link in the description box down below. Big rallies coming, by the way. And if you have not also signed up for Apex DEX, our recommended decentralized exchange here at the cryptocurrency, at the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel, then make sure to sign up for Apex. That is our recommended decentralized exchange, engineer with high-performing precision trades in a decentralized derivatives market. You do have access to leverage and a good bit of it. Be careful with it because you can cut yourself with leverage, but you can also make a lot of money with it, so just be very wise. But it is there if you want. These are some of the markets that they offer, quite a few of the ones that you're going to be looking for. And you're going to get a lot of success. They're partnered with Dragonfly Capital, Bybit. I'm sure you're familiar with them. Tiger Global, BitDAO, Kronos, M77 Ventures, CyberX. Many of the names that you guys will know, and there's a lot more coming in the future. 2024 Trader DID, 2024 Q2 looking at copy trading, which is a cool strategy because if you're not a trader but you want to make successful trades and you can follow other traders, so that's on its way. This is my home for my trading, and I would recommend that you guys look at it as well. You can sign up with the link down below. All right, I'm going to read chat here for a little bit, and then we're going to wrap it out. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, get rich quick is not a good thing. It's not how fast and what you can make, but a simple shift in your thinking that will not only allow you to make a lot, but preserve it. That's right. Some of the people that I've met, including myself, that have made money the quickest have also lost it the quickest. The original money that I made in cryptocurrency is long gone. I was so stupid with it. I was so dumb with it. And I'm a lot more wise with my money now. But back then I had a mentality of, oh, I don't need a budget. I'll just be frugal. Well, lo and behold, if you're not tracking your money, you don't know if you're being frugal or not. You're not a very good judge of that. The budgeting software and checking it is a lot of it. Emil said, you promised DOT, or is it only me who thinks it's dead at CryptoJab? That is true. I think I did say something about looking at DOT. I apologize. Let's look at DOT. DOT right now is trading at $5.7, $5.77. And it's got a long way to go to get back to all-time high. 880%. That right there is a good reason to go ahead and buy some of it, so long as you don't have a good reason to think that it's not going to return to all-time high. I think that it will return to all-time high. Going on over to the web. It's in the top 20, I'm sorry. It's number 15. It still has a community. It still has history. It's still got a stance in the top 20. It is still on all of the major exchanges. Is it dead? I don't think so. I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead. And so I would recommend having it in your portfolio. Technicals. It's very low. It's down here with ADA. It's down here with XRP. Very far away from all-time high, which means, again, it has a long way to go to catch back up to all-time high. But a couple of things to note here. Weekly chart bullish RSI divergence. Lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the RSI, as you can see right here. Hopefully you can see that. Right? That's bullish. MACD is bullish. The fact that we've come up here and tested $6 twice, that is bullish. Looking at Lux Algo, we've got a confirmed buy signal. That is bullish. We don't really have a price target on that yet because it hasn't developed far enough, but that is also likewise bullish. Looking down the daily chart, buy signal, price target sitting up at 6.5 to 7.5. Levels you're going to want to pay attention to on DOT are sitting right around that level. About $7, that's a local high. You're also looking at highs up here around 7.5. Just because the market is not actually broken out yet does not mean that it's not going to. And so I would recommend doing a conservative dollar cost average approach into it. Again, by the time you get down to like number 15 here on CoinMarketCap, you might only be putting 2%, of your weekly allowance into that asset. But you're getting some, right? You're getting something. And on the aggregate, you follow the investment strategy that I've laid out, I believe it will make you the most money. Bob Hayes said, shout out to the King of Kings. Absolutely. Praise the Lord Christ and his gospel. We're all sinners in need of a savior, but believing on him will save us. So thank you to him. All right. Do believe that's probably about where we're going to wrap it out. Bob Hayes said, hashtag keep it real. I'll do my best to. Christ is king, narcotic. Somebody plays Nar in the top lane, I bet. You got to tell me, narcotic. You playing Nar? You do jungle or top lane? If you don't know what that means, then that's fine. I'll just look like a fool. All right. I'm going to read a little bit of chat here, and then we're going to wrap it out. Let's see. Right now, Pete Schwartz said a long time ago. Joseph Tokar said, first time here live again. Good to see that. Savvy call for less than 10K. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, that's yeah. Bob Hayes said, heart, my bro. Heart back. Okay. Well, guys, you'll make a lot of money in this bull market. Let me just how shall I end this? It can be very tempting to look at the mistakes that you have made as a reason to be ashamed of yourself. What I will say is that it's good to be able to learn. It's good to take correction. It's good to take reproof, and you should be open to that. And you've got to be open to that. But what I will also say is that you can't be so crushed by the correction that somebody gives you or that the market gives you. Let's say you lost 10 grand. Let's say you lost 20 grand. Let's say you lost 5 grand. Let's say somebody told you you were stupid, or let's say somebody told you that you are good for nothing, or they made you feel like you're good for nothing. It's good to be introspective and try and learn. What it's not good to do is to stay down. And so you've got to get back up and know that the Lord loves you. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Maybe stated another way, that's Psalm 139, verse 14. You are loved by me, but also by your Lord that created you. He's way closer to you than I am. And so there's always a reason to get back up, because there's always something good out there to praise, and that's the Lord. And I'm sure there are other good things in your life that you can praise as well. It's okay to be put down. It's okay to be brought low. It's okay to be humbled. And it's a good thing. Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes you need to be humbled. Sometimes I need to be humbled. But we don't want to stay so far down that we have no confidence that we never stand back up. We need to stand back up with the lessons that we learned from losing money in the market, from making a mistake in our life. And we need to go forward with the lesson and leave the pain and the hardship in the past. And that's something that I speak from experience, because there's plenty of mistakes that I've made. There's plenty of accidents that have happened. There's plenty of things that I've done with money. And I'm like, man, I lost a lot of money there. That was stupid. I can think back, man, I spent a lot of money went there, a lot of money went there, a lot of money went there. And you can sit there and dwell on that. Take the lesson and leave it in the past. And you will be much better off for it. Is Jesus humble? Well, in Jesus' own words in Matthew 23:12, he who humbles himself will be exalted, but he who exalteth himself shall be humbled. Christ humbled himself to the point of death to save you from your own. I heard of one day we're going to meet Christ in the clouds. We're going to go up to him. And I don't want to be looking behind me and somebody saying, why didn't you tell me? You had a chance to tell me that this was going to happen. And I have to say, well, I was worried of offending you. I was scared to offend you because it's not popular to talk about Christ. So I didn't tell you. And now you don't know. I don't want to be guilty of that. I don't want that on my conscience. I want to know that I let you guys know about Christ and that he is king. And that that's not on me at that point. And if you guys are interested in learning about him, you can email me and I will talk to you about the gospel. And so, yes, Christ showed extreme humility. And we can be saved by believing on him. For the grace of God appeared, bringing salvation for all men, training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age, awaiting on our blessed hope the appearing of the great God and Savior Jesus Christ, who died for our sins. That's Titus chapter 2, the end of it. He is the grace of God. And by believing on him, you can be saved. And that's a lot more important than anything else I've said on this stream. I do apologize if that offended you. Actually, no, I don't. But I hope that you don't remain that way and that you're willing to hear us. How to email you, bro. Jeb McAfee at cryptojeb.com or support at cryptojeb.com. Either one of those emails, you'll get through to me. I'm not very good about checking my email. I'm getting better at, especially the support line, because that has to do with a paid product at this point. But if you email me, I will do my very best to get back to it, especially especially if it's about Christ. Love it, man. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm seeking him first before profits. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. Matthew 6:24. You cannot serve both God and mammon, for you will hate the one and love the other. Or you'll despise the one and hate and love the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon. That's a paraphrase. I didn't quote that correctly. Matthew 6:24. Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. Jesus said, while I'm on the train of thought, you tithe your spices, you Pharisees, but you neglect the widow, you neglect the poor, you neglect the people that need your help, and you leave them to suffer. And you neglect the weightier matters of the law of justice, mercy, and faith. And we know that by faith in him, we are no longer under judgment, but we are under mercy if we should turn from our sins and repent of those and be welcomed into the faithful fellowship of God and the glory of that. So there you go. Shall I never be guilty of not preaching the gospel on the platform that I've been blessed with by the very God that I am sharing with you today? If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, And no, I don't just talk about the gospel all day long. We talk predominantly about crypto, but I will mention it from time to time. I have a duty to, and I have a great grade of sharing the gospel. I have been come after by so many people for preaching the gospel, and I am so very thankful that I've had the opportunity to. And should I ever have to suffer from it, I will thank the Lord that I've been given the opportunity, the same way as the brothers in Acts thanked the Lord that they were able to persecute for his name. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.